I'd like to welcome you all again to the closing session, the wrap-up session. It's been a pleasure and privilege listening to all our speakers with you. I'd like to thank you again for attending. I'd like to thank our speakers for their contributions on behalf of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences. Now, in the light of and inspired by the thought-provoking, interesting, informative papers that we have listened to, we'll be discussing 1984, Orwell's 1984, in the present tense. Its relevance to our own historical moment, without forgetting, of course, its relevance to its own historical moment. So I'd like to ask our speakers and chairs, and of course the audience, all of you, for comments, arguments, questions, and answers. Burçin Hocam, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, I would once again like to express my gratitude and most sincere thanks to the organizers of this one-day conference and for accepting and proposing this book for the book to be discussed this year. It seems to be it's getting more and more and more relevant to our daily experiences. I have had my slice of 1984, double portion, while preparing my paper, trying to put it together. All of the speakers have touched upon it in diverse ways, and Zekiye, my young colleague, has done it very explicitly, as we wished in our hearts. And I read by everyone. It's an eye-opener, and as has been underlined by at least two speakers, Orwell disclaimed that he was only attacking one political ideology. He is against all kinds of oppression and totalitarian rule. This may be rightist, leftist, Russian, German, Turkish, unfortunately. And the aim of satire, some of the critics have claimed that Orwell was suffering from a severe case of tuberculosis. He was very ill, and some critics have blamed his illness for the pessimism in the book. But I don't think that's valid. And like quite a few of the critics point out in utopian and dystopian studies, it is a kind of warning. He's not really projecting any real situation, but as it came up in some of the quotations, if the individuals, if the citizens do not carry out their duties as citizens and express openly their attitudes towards the rulers, the dictators, it is going to be very bleak. There's going to be a very bleak future. And I was amazed when I was refreshing some of my research to see that some of the critics have been very bold and even named North Korea as 1984 actuality. I hope the list will not extend to come any closer to us. But I prefer the second ending, which I think Orwell intended by putting the appendix at the end. So literally, where the book ends is projecting more time to 2050 and calling upon common sense, good citizenship, and reason to rule over dictatorship, totalitarianism, and any kind of breaching of human rights. And I think we all might agree on this point. And I would like to call to attention a myth, Pandora's box. Every evil has escaped the box and is with us, but when she closes the lid, there's still hope in the box. So as we have a saying in Turkish, can çıkmadıkça ümit çıkmaz, the struggle should go on, and everyone should do his responsible bit of citizenship duties. That is what I gathered both from all the papers and all my recent rereading and new research I had a chance to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to add anything?
Well, very little maybe. First of all, it really refreshed my memories about the book. It's been a long time. All right. And secondly, after introducing and listening, especially all these very valuable papers, and especially Zekiye's paper, where there's almost nothing left for me to say. All right, so the all
topicality is
that's right. So what I should say, I hope Turkey will not be included in that list. That's all I can say at the moment.
Unfortunately, I'm not holding those hopes my professor Burçin hocam has. When I was studying 1984 to write this paper down, I kept on asking myself questions about my country. And my country's literature. Why don't we have any dystopic fiction? And we are living in such a, unfortunately fruitful ground for for writing such things. But when I look at the popular Turkish fiction today, I see that there is a kind of preoccupation with the past. I mean, they are obsessed with the past and they ignore the future. This is their common point, I guess. Future doesn't have any place in our fiction today. Or am I just overgeneralizing? I don't know. Please forgive my ignorance. But when I just check the list of newly published novels in Turkey now, I see as if they are living in another country, happily ever after, and their reality has nothing to do with ours. So there's something wrong with it. And I'm strongly critical about it. And because, as my friend Devrim said, literature has an important function in breaking oppression as a form of resistance. And this is what Turkish literature lacks, doesn't it? What do you think? When you look at Elif Shafak, she is still living in Ottoman Empire. Ahmet Ümit is still trying to be Stephen King or something. And they have nothing to do with... they are talking about happiness and... Yes.
They don't have any hope for...
Or maybe it is impossible today to write dystopias, because our day is not the day for satire. Instead, it is the day of parody and irony, as we repeatedly say, with a slight pride in it. This is the age of parody, irony, etc., etc. Satires have moral alternatives. Satirists, when they write something, George Orwell had an alternative, moral alternative in mind while writing 1984. So can we say that today, since there is no moral alternative to be presented, dystopic fiction is over? These were the questions I kept on asking myself, and maybe they are worth studying. Thank you for reading this one.
I think they definitely are worth studying or pondering upon, and I think you touched upon a very important issue, let's say. And before I ask Dr. Devrim Kılıcer to make her comments, I was very happy to hear all of the speakers, including Devrim, assert the value, the significance, the importance of these authors who have made literature what Susan Sontag said it is. So, Devrim, would you like to add anything?
About the Şafak, I think the neo-Ottoman spirit covering us all today has, gone into her. So this is why she would be popular. What they are doing or attempting to do with, foreign affairs, including Palestine, Albania, and other places which the Ottoman Empire occupied once, into the internal affairs of Turkey, has a resonance in her literature. This is where she gets her bread from. And one other thing I'm going to add, Turkey is in that list. Yes. Because just yesterday, the oppressive regimes, yes, we might be and I hope not, but we might be also on the list of states which sponsor terrorism, which is far more serious. Turkey is in that list because just yesterday the Constitutional Court passed a verdict to lift the ban on Twitter, which in the first place had no legal base. And I'm sure each of us wondered if the government would go with the Constitutional Court's decision. This is why we are on that list. And the government still has DNS spoofing, so do not lift VPNs. DNS spoofing, or it is also called DNS poisoning, the internet service providers have mirrors which act like the site that you're going to see, but they get your IPs there. This is Big Brother watching you, not without telling you. You don't always need an eye there. And this is also why Mehmet has this band-aid on his iPad. There's always resistance.
No, she's not. No, and this is definitely 1984 in the present tense. Everybody?
There isn't much left to me to say, but again, I would like to thank our speakers. And this is a conference on one novel. And all the papers presented today actually brought a new vision, a new look to the novel. And it's interesting that we voted for this book in July. And all of a sudden, in July, not only people, literary people, but as a country, we remembered 1984. We're engineers, people from
So many journalists
exactly
wrote about the topic.
Shakespeare
Even in
and
the
1984.
they were quoting from Orwell.
Yes, yes. Yes, it was Macbeth and Orwell, yeah, right, two English authors that they recalled for some reason. So I'd like to thank you again, and of course our students, our colleagues from other universities to come for their attendance today. Thank you.
Attendance, especially on Friday.
Yes, on Friday, this place. Well,
Yes.
May I have an addition, maybe something about the
Please.
about the question that you asked about our literature? Actually, I'm now reading Sonada by Zülfü Livaneli, as you asked, and it's a dystopia actually. And it's a short and simple novel, but it's a good one. And it's about an island, and there's a good life there, but there's a president, and he retired, and he goes there, but he definitely destroys the island and the life there. And another one maybe can be accepted Enver Aysever's Yazgıcılar, and it's about religious and the conflicts, and it's actually the criticism of today's Turkey. Or maybe I'm
Is it a
not
novel?
sure.
Is it a novel?
Yeah, it is a short novel, but
Yazgıcılar.
yeah. And I haven't read,
Me too.
but
That's why I asked.
Alev Alatlı's Kabus, I think, is a dystopian world, so maybe we can
We
accept
have.
these. Maybe we can accept these.
Okay.
So it's only an addition.
Thanks
to-
for your
thank you.
contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya.
If I may, I would like to respond to the history issue. Even in the face of all that is happening that is totally unacceptable in Turkey, I still believe in the power of the individual and the citizens, and I think we have to hope against hope. But when we take a look at the scene, although there is the trend of neo-Ottomanism, I do feel very optimistic about the general interest of the public in history. In that, we have come from the schools in Turkey, where you get a very limited view of the historical facts. It's a very long history, so you get a summary of it, and you may not go into details, you may not find the details you wish to see there, and it may not be offering you all the details. Although neo-Ottomanism may be a danger to a certain extent, without anyone forcing the public, people sit up till morning watching history discussions, arguing for and against. And we have lots of argument programs, lots of history programs are being made. Muhteşem Yüzyıl, I think it serves a very good purpose. First of all, it has to teach everyone what is fact, what is fiction. This is fiction. You have to go to the history sources to find the realities. So a search for the real facts in history has begun, in my opinion, in Turkey. This is extremely important. 4 years ago, they held the first, and I think it was the only conference on how history should be taught in the classroom in Turkey. Because as far as we know, unless you have exams, about 95% of the students are not interested in history. I was very much interested, but I was awfully unsuccessful in my exams. That's another contradiction. But I think that now there is a memory search for the correct facts. And I hope that we will get to see what is offered by the state and what is not offered, and in how many ways we can access all the documents to get a better picture of what happened in the past and what the realities were, so that certain lessons can be drawn. There is a parallel, I find, between the writings of George Orwell, Animal Farm, and especially 1984. It is a warning to those who are ready to take a lesson from it. The study of history is also, I believe, very fruitful to show what the mistakes were in the past so that they can be avoided and development can take place. Thank you.
Well, it's been a great day, a long day, but very inspiring and glad. This is also a glad sight. So we'll finish here. I think the most important point emphasized, stressed throughout the sessions has been that, and what has been remarked as a conclusion has been that the novel 1984 does not satirize, criticize a particular system or a particular society, but it is a warning, a portrayal of what any oppressive, totalitarian, authoritarian system is capable of doing to itself and to its citizens. So, in that sense, it is related to the present, not only of our country, but the entire world. I'd like once again to thank all of you and all our speakers and chairs for accepting our invitations and for contributing to this conference, for making it a valuable experience. Thank you.
Hepinize çok teşekkür ederim.
Hocam biz gidiyoruz.
Tamam.
Senin daha şey yok değil mi?
Şimdi